The Grand Arc of Madness is the debut full-length album from Sarcophagum. This is a Sydney, Australia-based group, and one that focuses on a dark and semi-dissonant style of black and death metal. I wouldn't say there's a strong black metal focus in terms of the lyrics and the general themes, but they do have some dissonant black metal guitar techniques used throughout this record that gives it a little bit of that extra darkness you'd find in something like modern Ulcerate records. These are fellows who we know from past and present membership of Golgothan Remains, and we have the drummer here from Ashen Horde. These are quite talented fellows. They have a strong sense of flow, and that kind of is the main focus of this record. There is some of the tension you'd find in Immolation records of a certain era. There's generally a hypnotic and introspective tone to this record, but it's putting on a bigger show than that. There is a dissonant death metal feeling to this record, even if it's not always ringing out with the most typical chord usage, somewhat in the way that a Suffering Hour record might develop. We go through an arc that presents itself throughout the entire listen, and it's not an especially long record, but it has a strong atmosphere to it that centers around just 4 songs here and long form pieces, and each one of them is telling part of this general theme that they're going for here. So we'll cut to a song here and get a sense for how that sounds, and I'll kind of continue to try to describe this record best I can. So my general feeling returning to this record after about a month was it's very much an atmosphere-based sort of thing. It's miasmic. It's like molasses in the way that it moves slowly, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot of richness to the way that they've developed these songs and the threads of guitar work that direct them in general. If you were a fan of their initial 7-inch or their first EP and their other shorter releases, you have a good sense of what to expect here, but nothing in terms of the way that they've rendered and produced this album, which is very slick. It's very much a gutturally barked command set with very fluid and grandiose guitar work that direct the whole thing. The compositions here are very refined. The sense of musicians' expression is all over the place, and you definitely get a sense for how talented the drummer is. For me, like I said in the review, there's a strong foundation built here, but there's just a singular voice created. Almost like the most recent Golgothan Remains EP, there's a sense that this record is a complete thought and only just. It's meant to be a vignette and a complete set of related pieces, and that's where the sense of sophistication and dramatic work comes from, because it is so consistent. It is a very easy to enjoy and quick to burn through sort of record that you want to leave on repeat and appreciate the finer touches of it. So there's a lot to like here. It is a little bit of a wrought record in terms of having just a lot of work put into it, but it's an easily approached listen for its brevity, and I like that for a debut where they're just not overwhelming with too much and giving you a sense for their sound design, their ideals, and their talent for these compositions, which are all quite complex. So check that out, if you will. For me, this is a very high recommendation. It is easily one of the best records of December. Go ahead and read my review for more of my thoughts in depth.